Okay, first of all, hello everyone. My name again is Andrea Brown, and where I come from a family of four with my mother raising us, and I was a twin, and my brother and I, we was close, but there was some favoritism there as well. So we grew up close, me and my family, my sisters and my brothers. And we would go over to my grandmother's house and meet up with the cousins and all, and we was just a close knit family, growing up and stuff. And
What ages are you talking right now?
I'm talking about like 7, 6, and 7.
6 and 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
6 and 7 around that time. And I can remember like we would play Mama's and Daddy's house and stuff like that. That innocent stage and stuff. And I don't know if I could tell this, but this is where I was molested growing up, and it was me and another cousin, and it was our older cousin that molested us. And that's where the pain came from me, and where I would go to school and I couldn't function or concentrate or anything, not knowing what's going on at all. I know this is an act that's not a good act, but I'm still young and I don't know.
And you didn't know whether or not it was your fault.
Right, absolutely. I grew up thinking that it was my fault. I should have said no, and stuff. And I grew up for a long time with that shame and guilt.
How long did you have to carry that before it was disclosed?
To be honest, when I did tell my mother, it's like she just dismissed it. The whole thing, like I wasn't saying anything important or stuff. I don't know if that was her way of, by her not being there to protect me.
Exactly.
Is how she dealt with it and all. So.
So what age?
It was from age, I want to say, early as like 7 to maybe 10.
7, 10.
So it was a lengthy time that we did this act. And I could say at the end, I did end up saying no when I got older. But it was like still that guilt of saying no to him. And as I grew up, I don't want to fast track, but I grew up with that thing, even with men, that it was hard for me to say no when I didn't want to do anything.
What do you think brought you to that place where it made you strong enough to say no?
Oh, God. I think because how it made me feel so sad, and I just felt so bad after the act, where I would cry. I grew up a sad child. I would always cry, and stuff like that. And
outside of yourself, who else knew?
me and my cousin, the one that, and I think he did it to my sister. I'm not sure, but I kind of think he did. But I know me and my cousin, he would grab both of us at times, and he would molest us both at the same time. And then there were times where he would just grab me, or then he may just grab her.
How much older was he?
He was like 16.
Okay.
So, he was way, way older. We were so innocent and stuff. So I would say it killed the innocent in me.
Okay, so if you push it forward just a little bit, as in when you first started, whatever your drug of choice was, when did that happen?
Well, I started using drugs at an early age, around 12, maybe 12, 13-ish.
And what was that? What was your drug of choice?
It was weed.
Okay.
Yep, I can remember, and I was doing that with my sister.
And you did that until?
The weed? Oh, ooh. I grew up as an adult smoking weed too,
Okay.
but then the other things were incorporated, throughout the teenager years.
And when did it progress to something else?
I could say around 15. I remember that because I had a son at 15 as well.
Okay.
So that was around the same time that, where I was using weed, and then cocaine came on, you know, and I can remember we would be in hotel rooms, all the girls, and then all the guys from high school and stuff, and we would all be in the room, and that's when it started. You know, the boys was the ones that brought the drugs, and we was the one trying the drugs and doing the drugs.
So at this point, it wasn't really impacting your life, or at least you didn't feel as if it was impacting your life.
No,
Okay.
no, and it was just like, I
Recreational.
want to minimize powder cocaine because all drugs are the same, you know, and stuff.
So if you go forward again, when would you say that that you felt that connection would start interfering with your life?
Oh
and start
God.
having an impact on your life?
I got married. Well, in the beginning of my marriage, I was still you know, just here and there tapping the drugs and stuff like that. But then once it became a problem in my marriage, in the beginning that we got married, he gave me an ultimatum whether the drugs or him, and I actually chose him at that time.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you went clean for how long?
Oh God. I would say about 7 years.
Mm.
And then once we started having issues.
Okay, you went back to what you knew.
I did,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, and so how far were you into your world now? So you said 7 years. How old were you then? At the end of
At the end, I want to say around 33.
Okay.
Around that time.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then you went back to it.
I did.
And
Yep, because that's what I knew.
Okay, that's what you knew, but this time it was like fast impact.
Yes, oh my God. It was totally different this time.
Because it's a progressive disease.
Right, absolutely. And I
Okay.
was older,
Okay.
you know, had more responsibilities
Mhm.
at that time. I ended up having 2 girls by my husband.
Okay.
So,
Were you trying to hide it during that time?
to be honest, me and my husband did it in the beginning first together.
Mhm.
But for some reason, he was able to stop, and me, I wasn't able to do so.
Okay, maybe your pain was a little deeper than his.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so fast forward again.
Mhm.
7 years clean, then you went back to it. It
Right.
started impacting your life. And where did that lead you?
Oh God, so much misery and pain and guilt. You're gonna make me cry right now thinking about it. It was just such a hard time for me.
That's cleansing though.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
the
know.
tears,
Not,
it's
they
cleansing.
want to come,
That's okay.
and I know I need to release because that's where the
That's-
healing
that's okay.
comes from.
Mhm.
Is when I, heal. And it was when the marriage was breaking up. My kids, I was going back to a life of misery. I knew once the marriage, because in the marriage he was a good provider,
Okay.
and I knew that I had this addiction, and I knew with these girls that it was going to be hard to actually raise 2 girls and be alone, or not be alone, but be a single mother. And so that was hard, trying to make sure they got to school and, make sure they was okay and
Okay,
stuff.
so now you're at Tahima, but what was the first time where you just identified within yourself that there was a true issue, a real issue, or that you had some kind of disease? Because whether you know it or not, it is a disease.
Right. When I first knew is when I looked around my apartment and that I shared with my girls, and there was a whole bunch of people. I was dating this drug dealer at this time. And it was like he took over my whole life. He was driving my car. He was selling out of my house. He would have the people come in and get high. And the crazy thing about it, I just was sitting on the couch one day and I looked over and I just said, he stole my life.
So that's one of the moments of clarity that you
Yes, is when I first realized that this is not good.
almost like outside looking in.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just awful.
And what happened from that, right in that moment?
From that moment, I called my ex-husband and I said, look, I have to go get help because these girls don't deserve this, and can you help me?
Mm.
Can you take the girls while I go get help? Because I've asked him before early on, and he was like, no. So I knew I needed help at some point in life.
Mm.
And
So you said you asked him before,
yeah,
and then this time, was this the time when you actually turned it around, or?
I don't know. It just was like I was crying a lot.
Okay. What was it? What was
And,
different this time?
oh my God, I just couldn't stop.
Couldn't
I don't
stop.
know how. I don't care how bad I wanted to stop using. I could not
Okay.
stop. And then I started using heroin. So that's not a drug you can just stop. You know, and my body would get sick for it.
Mm.
So
You came to the point where you admitted that you was powerless over the drug?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
I came to a point in my life where I knew if I kept going on, I would be probably dead or somewhere worse off than what I was. So
Okay, so right now, prior to coming to Tehima, and what was your journey within the last year or so?
oh
coming to
God,
Tehima?
coming here,
Mhm.
oh, it was just, I can say this last year, I didn't stay out there as long. I would relapse. At this point, a year, I have a sponsor. I've been introduced to NA, and I fell in love and
You fell in love?
with the guy that was from NA.
Okay.
And I would go get clean, but then I would relapse. And
What was that piece, right? You know, because using
Right.
is the last piece. What led up to you using again? What happened?
argument with
Okay.
the.
Okay.
I don't think I was ready for a relationship because I was like falling, getting back up, falling, getting back up, falling, getting back up, and I didn't stay long at this point. And I just knew one day I just came to the realization that I don't want to use drugs no more. And that I was sick and tired of using drugs, and my life had to change because I felt death so close, you know. And I just didn't want to live like that anymore.
Okay. So how long have you been clean now?
38 days.
38 days. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. 38 days. I
I'm
mean,
proud
you
of my
look back on
38
that.
days.
38 days is a
Yes.
long time.
Yeah.
That first 24 hours.
Yes, was
It's powerful.
hard, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first 24 hours. So 38 days. So where do you see yourself? Let's say a year from now. Let's
Oh
just
my
say a
God,
year from now.
clean, living the dream life of, you know, going places and having a job and
Mhm.
building new relationships with my kids and just living, because when I was using, I was dying, and I just want to live. You know, I had a lot of pain and misery throughout my life, and I know that life is not going to be perfect, but I know I'll have a lot of more happy days than sad days.
So what is your, let's just say, what's your goal? Just a goal that's out there for you right now.
My goal now is to someday be a sponsor and to help another woman that had to go through the things that I went through.
So become a sponsor
Yes.
is a goal.
And helping women.
So how far in front of you think that'll take?
Oh, maybe some years, maybe three, couple
So
of years.
3 years from now.
Couple of years. Yeah.
So if you set the goal, say 3 years from now. And that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I think when we first started, or maybe before we got on camera, I was saying start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
So that is the end, as in just one of your goals.
Yeah.
So if you look at that end, as in you being someone else's sponsor,
Right.
you know, and right at that moment when that person accepts you as being their sponsor, which is to it,
Right.
that person accepting you as being their sponsor,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look backwards. And how did you get to that place? Because it's only going to reveal to you the things
Right.
that you put in place to get there. It's not going to show you all that other stuff
Yeah,
that took
absolutely.
you off that course.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wish you the best of everything.
Thank
and,
you.
And it's your choice.
Yes.
It's always a choice, you know,
Okay.
and as far as it is a disease, and you have to kind of like look at it, not saying, you know, just in general, looking at it as if someone that had any kind of disease, you fought that person for the disease because you are not the disease.
No, I don't fall. No.
You're not that. You're
And I'm
not
not.
the drug.
No, I'm not. I'm
Right.
not.
So having things in place, I'm glad you have a sponsor.
Yes.
'Cause that's very important.
Yes.
And use a sponsor how you're supposed to use your sponsor. If it's a good sponsor, it doesn't make a difference. It's 24/7.
Okay.
They're open.
Right.
You know, and you don't get to that place where, oh, you know, I don't want to bother him.
Right.
No, it's not about that because
Okay.
they're helping themselves by helping you.
Right.
And once you get to that place 3 years from now, you'll understand that.
Yes.
So I'm just glad to see you here. I
I'm
appreciate you
grateful
telling your
to
story.
be here.
And thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right.